Hi, it's Warren Huart here. Hope you're doing marvellously well. Today I'm with the great Chris Sernel, who also works under the moniker Oh Hush.
Yes.
You were saying Hushy earlier.
That's not. I didn't come up with that one. That was other people have called me Hushy. I don't usually answer to that one though.
So I'm not going to call you Hushy then.
Hush is fine. Chris is fine.
Okay.
Yo, hey, you's fine.
Yo, aight. Okay.
All good.
Okay. Look, we have become friends because we've been working recently with a band. I suppose we're allowed to talk about it.
It's up to you.
I think we are, called Hey Violet, that are on Capitol, and they're a great band. And he's been writing and producing, and I've been helping out with production and stuff as well. And we've been recording here.
Yeah.
So we came here and did some drums and guitars and bass and stuff like that. And we had some fun.
I loved it.
And, you know, the songs that he's been writing with them are fantastic. And he brings in the tracks and then we'll add stuff to it, you know, retrack, put live drums on and from the program stuff, etc. So I got excited because I was like, well, this is like real world stuff. You know, you're initially based in Chicago.
Yep.
And then you moved out here.
Yep.
And so you said you've left most of your studio in Chicago. So you're making music basically on a laptop. He's making records on a laptop.
Yep.
And let's talk about how you make records on a laptop these days.
I mean, it's hard, right? Like, I have a whole bunch of gear at home, and I was like, well, we're just going to go to LA in January and see if we're going to move there, and then we decided to, and now all I got is a computer and a couple of small pieces of gear.
Right, and you're making great records.
I mean, that's to be determined, I guess, but yeah, I'm trying.
I think he's making great records.
Trying to. Thank you. I'll pay you later for that.
Okay, sure. So look, what I wanted to do was like just ask him a whole bunch of dumb questions about what his system is, how it works, what he uses. So basically he brought over his laptop and the bare minimum stuff that he uses every day.
Basically, I roll into a session with, this is pretty much a computer and a interface, and that's about it.
So basically you got your laptop and your Apollo.
Yep, Apollo Twin, yeah.
This is like the second time in a week I've been talking about the Apollo stuff and the UAD stuff. I'm going to have to get this.
You have to. Yeah. It's great. The plugins are, I think, even if nothing else, the plugins are worth it.
How much is this?
I'd say the Twin is $800.
And I come with the plugins?
Yeah, well, so you get 5 basic plugins with it that are usable and great.
Right.
And then you can buy more plugins as you go, which I've spent, half of my Christmas money on, basically, which is great. No, I have back home I have an Apollo Quad, which is the bigger version of this, more DSP power. Right. Sound. I mean, I bet the pre's and everything are about the same on it though. So yeah.
And this has 2 mic inputs.
Yep, 2 inputs, mic and line, guitar on the front. Amazing. Yeah, it sounds great.
And you're using like a little multi-USB thing here, so you can run your iLock.
Yeah, just iLock for iLock and Nexus. Yep.
Good old-fashioned rugged. I love the ruggeds.
Rugged.
I don't know. I'm not sponsored by LaCie, but I'm telling you, I ran over one of these in my wife's SUV, and it still works. 5 years ago.
That's a commercial.
I did. I ran over it.
I know.
And I demolished my laptop. It was in my bag. I'd run back in the house to get her keys because I didn't want to drive my car. And I put my bag behind the back wheel. I'm an idiot. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and I was going to a different studio, and I reversed over it.
Yeah.
There was a huge dent in the middle of the laptop. The screen was demolished. There was a dent in it, and the rugged had dented it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no! I get in and plug in the rugged. Still works. Still in there. Still have it.
Laptop's dead, right?
Laptop's completely destroyed.
Yeah, sure.
Laptop was 2 days old.
I love it. Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, the rugged. I still use it.
Right. I mean, that's part. Especially when I'm traveling.
I don't want to say because everybody's always looking for those kind of hard drives that work all the time, and I don't want to really jinx it. But they really do.
Look for some wood, and you can.
Yeah, there's some wood around.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to jinx it, but those ruggeds seem to last forever.
Yeah, I mean they are rugged. You can drop them, you can throw them at the wall,
and you can drive an SUV.
You can drive an SUV over it. Yeah. So
smash your laptop onto it.
Keep it out of the pool, and you'll be all right. I think.
We have a session open. This one, can you tell me about this?
This is a song I wrote with Jeff Lewis and Drew Lawrence for somebody in the male pop. Jason Derulo, Nick Jonas, kind of lane. Wrote it a couple weeks ago, and we pretty much did this from scratch. And 8 hours later, this is what we had, and it turned out pretty cool. Cool enough that I'm not embarrassed to show people. Yeah.
I love that key sound. Very Gorillaz.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Can you show us that guitar track?
Yeah, sure. And I think I remember chopping this one up a little bit. So we did some guitar here.
What plugins?
So I use GTR. I have my Oh Hush Dirty Clean too.
Nice.
So if anybody wants that preset, I'll be happy. Actually, it's not for sale. Or it is for sale, but it's not for free. The Oh Hush Dirty Clean too. Yeah, just run through that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then...
You're plugging just into a DI in this?
I just go direct in, Telecaster in. Yeah.
Perfect.
Bring guitar in. EQ'd, get rid of virtually all of the entire curve on the guitar. Just for a verse thing. And then, so I use I think this is the REVÄ. This is one of the Universal Audio plugins, and it just makes it sound awesome. You put it in, it doesn't have any life. You pop this thing on, and it's suddenly, it sounds killer. And then LFO tool is like a little bit of a sidechain tool. So for a dance thing, it just pulses it a little bit.
So are you running that off the kick?
This thing it pulses to the grid. So like you can adjust the curve of this thing.
LFO tool. Where'd you get it from?
I don't know. Whoever makes LFO tool.
I have to look it up.
Yeah.
Can you sell in the guitar? So
yeah, sure. So this is just that first guitar. So you can exaggerate this if you want, just for a little bit of a pulse to keep it moving and kind of the dance thing.
It's nice.
And then if you go with the just okay. Awesome.
That spanks it.
Totally. I mean, yeah.
It's nice. You got the release wave far to the right.
Yep.
Tax coming in sharp. Nice.
Yep.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, little bit of verb on it through the I don't know what's my verb?
What verb are you using?
Little R verb.
Oh, I love the R verb.
Yeah, large hall.
Been around forever,
Sounds great every time, and yeah. So add a little guitar to kind of a straight up pop song, and
fantastic.
Give it a little but keep it real pop and
so let's hear that pulsing synth. What are you using for that?
That's a good question. I don't even remember. Let's find out. That was this guy.
I love it.
So Nexus. Baseline sequence, apparently.
Nice.
Just pulse it, so I limit it a little bit. Punch a little. Roll off the bottom. Same thing on the pulse, so get it to pulse a little bit. Doesn't move quite as much, and then just bounces a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, just
that LFO tool.
LFO tool it's a big one, and I used to sidechain off with a compressor and a kick, and then somebody, my dance friends were like, "Dude, this tool does it without having to do that."
Yeah.
And I mean, you can adjust the release, the time, how quick it does it.
Nice.
I'd say this is kind of a must-have if you're doing it.
And it just reads off Pro Tools grid.
Totally. It's great.
Fantastic.
Although occasionally it'll just like get off.
Right.
Turn it on and off and it's work. But yeah, this is I'd say I use this on almost every song. If I want to pulse anything, it's great. Yeah.
What else we got going on the track? Let's go to the chorus. There's probably a lot more elements playing there.
Sure, yeah, there's plenty of stuff.
Baby, spill my heart out on the floor. I know that heart ain't bulletproof. Open fire. I gotta take a chance. Can't let you slip through my hands.
How do you build your drums? You're just laying in samples?
So I have just a bunch of different samples. I have probably 400 million drum samples, and I use about 10. But if anybody ever wants to go through my catalog, I'll give them to you if you'll give me a favorites folder from them. But yeah, just pull in. In fact, I think I stole this kick from a Most Def song. Okay, all right. And, add a little click on top of it. Yeah.
That's nice. You're just putting in just a click against it. That's nice.
Just a click on the top of it, yeah.
You zoom in on that?
Yeah, so just put a little...
That's nice.
And the click by itself.
That's tasty.
So it's cool, because it just helps it to cut a little bit through in the mix.
That's great.
I think I actually added this one. I added a little bit of... I don't know if you can hear that, but there's just a little static in the background just to give it a little bit of...
realness.
Cool. A little bit of cool.
Yeah.
A little static cool. So
I like that.
Let's throw that back there.
Little tricks there.
Yeah, it's one of my... I'm sure people would do that for a while. Yeah, snares, just lay out a couple different snares. Just a couple different,
Or like a little white noisy one.
Yeah, just add them in there for a little bit of whatever.
And then what's changing up in the chorus?
Chorus, just adding a little bit more, a couple more snares to the whole mix. Bigger hit on the 4 of each one. Just a little
Nice.
bit, you know, kind of a janky, like Michael Jackson-y
Yeah, I like
kind
it.
of hi-hat. Yeah.
What's the vitamin or vitamin?
the vitamin? The
Vitamin. What is the vitamin plug-in
Mr.
here?
Vitamin. So the vitamin, you know what? I bought a new Waves thing, and this was in there. I'm like, let me try this thing out. It's just what is this? It's just a multi. It's not a. It's just a.
It's like a multi-band compressor.
Kind of, yeah. And it's just great for. I love it for the top end of it. So
We'll
anything
check
that's like, yeah, for hi hat, it was great for like, man, if you solo this guy, you know. You know.
Oh yeah.
You bring out a little bit of the top end on it.
That's nice.
It's great, yeah.
Then you got an extra hi-hat here that's coming in occasionally.
Just maybe some open hats here and there. I think probably it's just a little like buzz on every time. And let's see. I think I might have run these drums through. Let's see.
Separate bars.
So I busted drums. One of my favorite plugins these days on drums is the Lo-Fi, which is a standard Pro Tools thing.
I love Lo-Fi. Yeah.
So just distort them a little bit, saturate them a little bit, and because things are darker, a lot of the pop music is a little darker, a little cooler. So like this helps bring that dark and cool. And if you, I didn't pull out the drums. If you
Open fire. I gotta take it.
just compresses them a little bit more. They're a little darker, a little cooler. I love that plugin. That's one of my go-tos, just to add dirt or
I use it a lot on vocals.
Love
just a little touch. As soon as you start bringing in just a little.
Yeah. Adds a little edge to it. So I love doing that to my drum
fantastic.
bus. Yeah.
You know, like a reverse effect here.
Yeah, just some Dr. Luke sweeps. I think in fact these are the exact ones. It's probably heard in every Kesha song ever. Right. Kesha, Katy Perry for days. Here's another little just to fill out the chorus. It didn't quite feel like it wasn't full enough. So I added this side chained white noise. Just to kind of give it something in the back. Yeah. And it was, I think it's
using the LFO again.
Yeah, so the LFO tool, EQ it a little, just roll off probably the bottom, And it just filled it out. Like it was a little it's a little too sparse, but I don't want to add like a bunch of weight to it. So
that's an awesome trick.
So
really
just throw that in. And if you it almost feels like a hi-hat or something bouncing a little bit. So that's one of
It's funny, we're in the wonderful world of digital where everything's so clean.
Yeah, right.
We're just trying to dirty
how can we
it up
add?
again.
No, absolutely. That's like one of my number one things is how can I add and make this a little darker and a little cooler. So it's it's rolling off the top end on stuff, adding the lo-fi to various things.
So what's this next thing? Is like a little loop?
Just probably a sample. Yeah, just a little. Yeah, keep the chorus moving along a little bit.
Right.
Add some tambourines later on in the chorus here as it hits. It's a fake tambourine. I would have added a real one if I had one. It's one of the trials and tribulations of not having my own studio. Yeah.
Right, but you're making great music regardless.
Yeah.
And the bass sounds, what have you done to
the bass? Yeah, just that bass. So that's the bass we talked about before, the pulsing one. So that one's in there. And then this is one of my go-tos on a chorus, the sub-boom bass. Who makes this guy? It's a...
wow.
Rob Poppin.
It's a work of art.
So I only use one sound in this entire plugin. But I use it on every single song and every single genre ever.
Really?
Yes. And it's just a sub bass. And I just use it when the chorus hits every single time. The Hey Violet stuff we do, rock, pop, anything. It's just to add a little bit of, it's just a sub basically. And I had it pulsing.
Oh, this is Rastafari vibrations. Yes.
Yeah. So just get the bottom end down there and.
It's great.
I don't know what else I do. More bass.
Oh, I see. So what plugin's that?
That's a massive.
Wow.
Massive Angry Ogre. The Angry Ogre is one of my go-tos for just for a little bit of grit down there, and so have something down in the bottom end that's a little gritty and cuts.
Let's hit that chorus. I love all these elements.
Yeah. Here we go.
Bulletproof, open fire. I gotta take a chance. Can't let you slip through my hands. It's so I open fire. There ain't no holding back. Gotta pull that trigger fast. My God, I can't let you get away. It's way too late now to play it safe. And now it's time to open fire. There ain't no holding back. There ain't no holding
there's a piano. That's fantastic. Lots of pianos.
Tons. Yeah, and then it's just layering up. I mean, it's probably too many, but
What are they doing? On the
so
piano?
I most of them are playing pads basically, just with different frequencies. This plugin, the Diva, is amazing.
I don't know this one.
A friend of mine came over. He's like, "Do you have Diva?" I'm like, "Never heard of it." I got the demo of it and loved it. So whatever Yuhi is.
Yeah, I've never even heard. of
No, absolutely. It's an analog kind of synth. So you just get these, those crappy, awesome analog.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Love these.
It's all different ones here.
So the next one, I don't know. The next one's my. That's the jump.
It's jump.
That's the jump. They're literally called the jump chord. So you can play jump on it.
Jupiter Right.
Yeah. It's the Jupiter Right. Yeah.
And this is another Diva.
Yeah. I kind of just keep adding them until it sounds right. I just keep throwing out those frequencies until
Love
it
that.
feels.
Fatima Point.
One with a little bit more attack on it to cut it a little bit.
It's great.
Yeah. Mid-rangey.
Saw Euro. This
Yeah.
Diva plugin is heavily featured.
It's a big one. A little piano to cut through too.
Next, obviously, it sounds great too.
Yeah, next is I try to always get away from it, and then I end up using it in every.
And you're
single
using
song.
this.
So yeah,
you're using these a lot.
so this shredder spreader.
Shredder spreader.
Is that what it's called? Shred spread. Sorry.
Shed spread. No,
I like shredder
that.
spreader, right?
I like shredder spreader too.
Okay, shredder spreader. I'm gonna call Brainworks and see if I can get them to change that.
Maybe you can have your own line.
The Oh Hush shredder spreader.
The Oh Hush
Forget
shredder
it.
spreader.
Perfect. Alongside my Dust plugin I'm developing right now.
Dust.
Matt, I'm working on that one. So this is great. So I mean, it's basically a widener, and it adds a little dirt, so you can widen it to your heart's content and be outside the speakers and probably sound terrible. But a little bit of widening, and then you add this shred to it. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what that one sounds. Maybe it's better on the synths. Let's see. So yeah, widen it. If you take shred off, it just that's a little edge.
Cool little edge, yeah.
Not quite as wide.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
And it just, like I save those kind of moves for the chorus, so that when the chorus hits,
Right.
open it up a little bit more. And just again, like you said, everything's so clean. We're kind of trying to find where can I add a little dirt. So the shred spreader's got the shred you can add.
Yeah.
It's great on guitars too. Like on a rock thing, I would add that to the hook, dirty up the guitar
Right.
a little bit. You can record your guitars a little cleaner and then make them a little dirtier when with that kind of stuff. But
Speaking of which, you got more guitars. going
I
on,
guess
of
I
course,
do. I don't. Probably just played some eighth notes and see what these are doing. Oh, Katy Perry. Same thing, yeah. So just dirted. Yeah, without it, it's a little.
Oh, so you're bussing it here.
Yep. Yeah, just a little dirtier, a little wider.
Alpha tool again.
Yeah, just keep on these dance things. I feel like this just keeps that pulse. It's weird. Yeah, just to pulse it a little bit.
It's great.
Just keeps it. It's great for the pop stuff. Yeah, get rid of all the.
Any other little goodies?
I'm trying to think of other cool stuff. Let's see, vocally.
Well, let's go to the vocals. Good idea.
Yeah.
The SSL channel.
So man, these are all my tricks on the vocals, but yeah, I love the SSL channel. I go back and forth between the UAD and the Waves one. Mm-hmm. Depends on the singer.
What do you think?
Well, it just depends on the singer. The Waves one wins on certain singers. The UAD stuff is better for sure. Right. But there's just some people I can get to sound better quicker on the Waves one.
I have the Waves ones because I have the Waves package.
Love the Waves.
I don't have the UAD stuff, and
I feel like your life's going to change.
I feel like it might.
Your family might not see you for a few months as you're playing with all your gear, but so I love the SSL channel. Is my main for the bus. DS a little bit.
I love the RVox as well. I use that a lot.
One of my tricks is like
a little bit of
little flange on the lead. I like it. It just adds it. It's just cool. I don't know. I'm a big fan of just Metaflange on that. And
I use H3000. I print.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
3 times, and I make that.
Just
the same thing.
You get the same effect. Yeah.
So I know what you mean.
And I auto-tune the crap out of. And in fact, when we cut this vocal, Jeff Lewis is an amazing singer, but we just track it with auto-tune on. We're writing a song, so we're just trying to get it done as quick as possible. So just put the auto-tune. I've put it on every track and makes it quick and easy. So this is these.
That's the UAD one.
These UAD LA2s or LA2A is so good.
Right.
It's so good. It just brings the vocal to life a little bit, helps it to sit out front a little bit.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I just, I got a bunch of buses off of that.
Was there backgrounds on this too?
So backgrounds down there, let's see, yeah, down there. I pretty much use similar chain, just roll off a little bit of frequencies on the backgrounds. So, RDS, RVOX. This, another UID, Fairchild.
Wow, look at that.
This thing's great. Just glues them together, makes them a little wider, and it just gives you that sort of wall of sound chorus that you need for.
I remember being in Indiana in the studio years ago, about eight years ago, and I was looking for was it the Bomb Factory? Fairchild?
Oh, sure.
I was like, they don't have.
Where's the Bomb Factory?
They don't have the Bomb Factory Fairchild. And the assistant taps me on the shoulder and points at the ground, and there's
the real one.
There's the real one.
When I started producing, I was in real studios, but I played in a band. I didn't care that. I was just like, I'm in the band. I didn't pay attention to the gear. So then I started producing, and I saw the plugins. And then it was like, oh, there's a real one there's something that really. I was the same guy. Like, what the Fairchild? It's a real piece of gear. So I'm in your studio going, oh wow, here's all the real versions. Yeah, there's the real versions of the stuff that I use.
Right.
And which is kind of interesting. Like, I wonder if it responds the same. And I think the UID stuff generally does.
That's what I hear. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing as well. It's got all the.
It's got all the lights and the crazy stuff, and
it's fantastic.
What do I run it through? Yeah.
And then you got Ace delays, Echo Boys. I love.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
Echo Boys. I'd say Sound Toys is one of my. I've probably used the fewest Sound Toys on this track that I usually use. Echo Boy all over the place. I love the the filters are great.
Yep, I agree.
For tricks, the
I use them on vocals
crystallizer
all the time.
Yeah.
Ace delay I love as well. That's a great delay.
Yeah, throw that on.
What's the
stuff?
Oh, this is.
The Oral Exciter. Yeah.
So you just use that just to kind of
just a little edge sometimes to cut through. I have it in the thing. I don't always use it.
And the R-verb again. I love the R-verb.
Yeah, R-verb's great and everything.
Modulation delay.
Yeah. One of my little tricks there, just
slide
the groove. Yeah, just it makes it a little wider because it's not as or a little bit off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then this. it's pretty basic. There's not that much stuff going on in this one. It's just a pretty basic track, but
it's a great sounding track.
It works. Yeah, I feel like I'm. Jeff's a great singer, and I think one of the things we do is with him is just, and this one we didn't actually do it, but just layer a lot of,
I won't tell you no lies, babe.
A lot of low octaves with the high falses on top of it.
I got nothing to hide, baby, and I won't stop. No, I won't stop till you're mine, baby.
Just Justin
really
Timberlake
good.
moves and stuff like that, where you put those lower.
He's a really good singer. Yeah.
He's amazing. He was he was on The Voice a couple years back.
I probably recognize him if I saw him.
He's great. Yeah.
And then I suppose the only other thing is Master Bus. What are you putting on your?
Yeah,
Master
that's
You've got S1 Imager.
Widen stuff a little bit, yeah. And then, that's, just a little 120 or 1.2. And then I use, so if I've got a VST that I need to pull in, there's this Metaplugin. I think it was either free or like $20, something crazy cheap.
Sure.
And then, you can just pull in any plugin you want on it. So T-Rax, I think there's a lot of T-Rax haters out there.
I love T-Rax.
Okay, you do?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Great, okay, because there's a lot of haters. I pull
Why
it
do
up
people
and
hate it?
I get make fun of them. I don't know, they're like, oh, you're still using T-Rex? I'm like,
yeah, it sounds really good.
Mixes are good, right? It's just when I grew up, when I started, I had it and I used it and I loved it.
To me, the funny thing is, and I say this of all honesty, if I'm not using an amazing mastering engineer, my mastering will always sound better.
Yeah.
And all I do is use a gentle amount of T-Rex and an L2, and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And most of the time, if I'm going to a budget mastering guy who has every tool, it comes back sounding worse.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's one thing about mastering. Is for me, it's like I either master it myself or you pay the money and you
get the good one.
Adam Ayer at Gateway's the guy I've been using for years. Who's fantastic.
It's
like him or
nobody.
Maybe two other people.
Yeah. Do it yourself.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just a guy sitting with a laptop and a bunch of plugins.
Yeah, which is what we are.
Yeah.
And we can, and we know what it's supposed to sound like.
I feel like that, I had a couple of mastering tutorials. I just feel like, it's good sometimes to hand stuff away. Like, I don't always want to mix everything I do.
Totally.
But having said that, you see a track like this, in all honesty, that's the mix.
I mean, that's what I'm going for. And I think that's one of the things as a producer. We're writing this to pitch this to other people. Right. People want to hear the record. They don't want to go like, oh, it's a cool song. I wonder what it would sound like with, if Dr. Luke did it or some Max Martin. It's like, well, they're not going to give it to them. It's got to sound. It's got to sound ready to go.
It's quite often I've been given stuff to mix that is like this, and I'm like, This
What
is
am
pretty
I
much
supposed to
the
do?
mix.
Yeah.
I mean, I can output it through a console.
Sure.
And maybe make it feel a little wider here and there. But the reality is I'm going to keep your EQs, I'm going to keep your panning, I'm going to keep the effects you've done, because that is what is inherent in the track.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mixers, and it'll remain nameless, that 99% of the time it comes back sounding almost exactly the same.
Sure.
Maybe 1% better, and that's great. But you just spent $4,500 to get the song that comes back almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And in their defense, the production and the mix becomes one and the same.
Yeah. And that's the modern day producer is also a mixer.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have to, and that's so I spend a lot of my time trying to get better at mixing.
Yeah, and you've got to sell the song.
Yeah, the song's got, and even when you're creating the song, if it's a songwriting session, it needs to be inspiring as quickly as possible to people, so they're inspired to write to what you're creating on the spot.
Right, absolutely.
So it's sometimes it's speed in the room, and then in post when I'm pitching the song to my publisher or an artist.
Right.
It doesn't sound like the record. That's what they're buying.
Right.
Yeah, they're not like, I'm going to go send this to somebody else to do. It's like, well, this is the song. Do we like it or not?
Wow. Yeah, no, I love the T-Rex.
It's great. I feel like it's part of my mix sound. And,
Good.
And people, yeah. I mean, I've been getting mix credits or mixes on stuff because just it sounds mastered and ready to go. And and they're like, well, if it's an album track, why don't we just go with your mix?
Yeah, it makes more sense. I mean, if they want to spend whatever thousands of dollars to,
and then I'm not nervous
for the radio song, then great.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it's good enough, and everybody's gonna be fine with it. I'm
marvelous.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, I think we've taken up enough of Chris's time.
Never.
This is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. No,
And
thanks for that.
I love working with you. So let's make sure we do more.
Absolutely.
And thanks for your time. I hope that you have learned some stuff. Please leave questions down below. I will answer them. I might even force him to answer some.
I'll be happy to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And thanks for watching. As ever, subscribe. Go to producelikeapro.com and sign up for the email list, and we'll send you more information. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Warren.
Thanks, mate.
All right.